two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going to go on about some choices put forward by the one and only Moosling, my fiance Tammy. So we decided to go on a kind of a double feature joint, and kind of get us a little bit more closer to finishing the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. So, Tammy, what is the first movie that we'll be discussing?
Um, which one? At World's End.
Yep, which was filmed in 2007, and it completed the Gore Verbinski trilogy, which does matter because it's a totally different director than any of the other films that are in the future of this franchise. And it matters because it goes in different directions. But of course, who does it star? Tammy, do you remember? Well, it does star, of course, Johnny Depp, reprising the role of Jack Sparrow. Right?
Yeah, correct.
Jeffrey Rush, who stars as Barbosso, and he definitely plays a different character in here.
Kira.
Believe we have a new Penelope Cruz, who, let's see, is she? She plays the daughter of Blackbeard.
That's in the fourth one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kira is in this one.
That's right. We still have the original characters, Keira Knightley, and we also have Bootstrap Will Turner, and William Turner, played by Orlando Bloom. And I'm just about to bring up the IMDb page to see what it says. All right. So Captain Barbarossa, William Turner, and Elizabeth Swann must sail off the edge of the map, navigate treachery and betrayal, find Jack Sparrow, and make their final alliances for one last decisive battle. So, going around the room, let's start with you, Tammy. How did you get involved in in watching the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise?
Well, the first one, they advertised it for like a year. And then when it finally came out, I saw it the day it came out, and it just started to become a tradition. Every time another one came out, I saw it usually that day or at least that within that week. But it was usually the day. And then my good friends, every time it came out on DVD, would buy it for me. So the first three of them were bought for me. So, but I just, after the first one, I got hooked, I guess you would say. So.
Okay. So, what were your thoughts of At World's End?
Oh, I thought it was entertaining, like always. Just there's always the drama, but then there's the humor, but then there's there's a little bit of like everything in the pirate movies. That's what makes them fun to watch. And you don't realize, it's almost like you don't realize that they're a little bit longer or whatever, because there's always so much going on, and there's always, you know, it's not like a totally complete drama scene or adventure or this. It's such a mixture of everything, that makes them fun. And yeah, how can you not like Captain Jack Sparrow?
Alrighty, heading over. Is that pretty much it then for first impressions?
Yeah, for now, because I've definitely watched it more than once, because I watched it the day it came out, and many times since. So
Okay. So heading over to you, Ron. Was this a first time watch for at World's End, or have you seen it before? And what was your first impressions? Ron.
Yes, I've seen it before.
Okay.
Yeah. I liked it the first time I saw it, and I liked it again this time. More adventures of Captain Jack Sparrow and everybody else in the crew. I do like the movie, and hope that the other movies bring them back. Yeah, as much as I like the next movie, it's just not quite the same. And I like how they had, they did the whole thing that the goddess trapped into the human body and stuff. And,
oh, you like Calypso?
yeah, Calypso, and then yeah. So I don't want to say ruin it, but yeah, I like the movie. I like all the movies. They're all great movies, great special effects, and they're all fun. We had some we had a few deaths. So we lost one, former.
Part of what I like too is Jack gets to be even weirder than normal.
And you get to see a little bit inside his mind almost.
Oh shit, full of deaths.
But
Yeah.
is that pretty much it then for your first impressions then?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Heading over to you, Boris. Was this a first time watch, or had you actually seen At World's End before?
Much to my shame, yeah, this was the first time I saw this movie, at least the first time I saw it completely. It's possible that I stumbled upon it on TV before and watched a part of it, but at this point, I'm not sure if it was this particular movie or another, or some other one in the franchise. But yeah, this was the first time I watched.
Okay. And what were your thoughts on it? What were your thoughts on it? Can anyone else hear him?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
But can Boris, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
So you didn't hear what I've been saying?
No. Did anyone else hear what he's been saying?
No.
Okay.
Oh, strange. Okay, so I was going to say this. Yeah, this was the first time I watched this movie from the beginning to the end, and it was enjoyable. although I wasn't in my full focus because I had a really intense week and I haven't been getting enough sleep these days because some personal stuff was going on, and so it was difficult to focus properly on a movie. But as far as I did see, it was quite enjoyable. I especially liked the final battles, but the story as a whole, I'd say maybe it was, or at least that's the impression I got, since I, like I said, wasn't in full focus. Like the story is a little bit convoluted, with everyone having their own agenda, switching sides, turning against each other, and stuff like that. It was a little bit difficult to follow who is with who is against whom, and why.
Well, to make the story find a little bit easier to understand, at the end of the second one, um, that was when Elizabeth Swann had actually sacrificed him to Jack to Davy Jones' locker.
Yeah.
Which, in all fair and honesty, is like sticking yourself in purgatory, in a sense, or like your soul in purgatory, or whatnot. And so at the end, Captain Barbossa came back. How did he come back? We don't know. Not entirely, but he came back as captain. They needed a ship, so they needed to go and find a ship. And I believe Chow Yun-fat played one of the pirate kings, and we don't know how, but Will Turner actually had tried to steal a map that this pirate king had, and he was caught. So that at the very beginning of this movie, that's what we kind of see. Tammy, did you want to bring us into that a little bit?
Tammy, you are muted too. Tammy.
Oh, let me see.
You didn't give your first. I was gonna say. You didn't give your first impressions yet.
Well, I guess before we go into anything, I guess I'll give my first impressions. I totally forgot about mine. I'm not sure if I actually saw this in the theaters, but I did enjoy the storyline and the mythos behind the Pirates of the Caribbean. The stories. I think that a lot of stories are based on truth, and a lot of the stories involving the Pirates of the Caribbean are based on actual pirate legends. And so when Disney created the ride back in like the 80s, when I was 3, I believe I was on the ride, and when I was 8 or 9, I was on the ride as well. And you're just basically in a boat looking at animatronics and history of pirate legends and whatnot. And Davy Jones was definitely mentioned, but he was definitely not as Cthulhu-like. But I think it's kind of cool that he was. And the guy who plays Davy Jones, he was in the Underworld movies as Victor. He's not as burly of a dude as he is here. He's actually more ramrod, stiff and skinny.
Well, you
But
do
he's
get to see him briefly in this movie without all the stuff on him. There is
yeah.
that moment when he's talking to Callisto, you know, that you do get to see him without all that on, you know?
Well, and what he looked like when he was younger,
Right.
you know. So, and that isn't even what he looks like in real life.
Right. That's
Believe it or not.
it was very brief, but yes, you did get to see him.
But yeah, Calypso happens to be in human form, helping the crew of Jack Sparrow and Barbossa. They end up going to the Chinese, one of the Chinese pirate kings, and they get caught. And what happens here? Apparently, we also get to see a massive hanging as well by the English tea company or the British tea company or the China tea company, which the dude who I believe plays the guy in the wig. I think he also played um, Amadeus Mozart in the movie Amadeus.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
pretty sure that's him. But
Well, that's what the whole thing out is a massive hanging, and then because all the laws are getting, you know, anybody who is a pirate, who's been a pirate, who's affiliated with a pirate, who helps a pirate, you know, you're getting hung. You know,
correct.
that's the thing.
Or was it? And I think it was in this one that he had to break out, or was it in the next one? No, I think it was in this one that he had to break out Gibbs from prison, or was it in the next one? Do you remember?
Breakout kids.
No, Mr. Gibbs, his
Oh,
second in
yeah,
command,
Oh,
Jack Sparrow's.
that's in the next one.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Then in this one is when they actually, um,
They're all getting together. They're going to get Jack back because
yeah. But
they
there
need
was a
to
song that was sung
right.
by the people.
They're going to get Jack back because they need the 9 pieces of 8 to come together to go against um to fight the England or whatever.
Yeah, because Davy Jones is being controlled by the China Tea Company or whatever the fuck they are. That is behind the British commander dude,
Right.
and Commander Norrington is back under whatever legions that he is, and I believe Elizabeth Swann's father is
At his mercy.
at his mercy as well. And he tells him that he'll be sending him back to England, but he in fact dispatches him somewhere during the movie, and we'll get into that.
Right, but that's the whole thing about why they're going to get Jack, is they need him. They need all of the original. And as we get into it, there's another reason why they need all of them together, which has to do with Calypso.
Yep.
But
Basically, Captain Barbossa's plan is to have all the pirates convene to agree to release Calypso. But in order to do so, they kind of have to go to war. And also, bring Jack back from Davy Jones' locker, and someone has to apparently stab the heart of Davy Jones in order to destroy Davy Jones because the ship always needs a captain, no matter what. And I believe it's Jack and Will Turner who seem to be both jockeying for doing this. But at
for
the end
different.
of the day, Will Turner is also trying to save his father.
Right. Will is in it for trying to save his father. You know, Jack isn't in it for the same reason. Everybody's in this whole thing for their own special reason, but in the end, they're all in it for the same reason. If that makes any sense, they all got their own agendas of how they're getting to that very ending point of all getting together to do this.
Isn't it the Fountain of Youth map that they're all technically after, anyways?
Well, the map shows how to get to where how to get to Jack. Also,
Okay, yeah.
that
And
map.
at the beginning, Jack is given the compass, and then Jack also realizes that Will Turner is actually letting the British know exactly where they're going. They're trying to go to Whitecap Bay or something like that, but they are following this map. Well, first, a whole bunch of stuff happens.
Whitecap Bay, the next one.
Yep. First, a whole bunch of stuff happens first. We have to go backwards because they meet up with that pirate king. He ends up dying.
You keep mixing the two movies up, David.
Huh?
You keep mixing the two movies up. Whitecap Bay is in the next one.
Okay. Sorry, we watched them back to back, so I might be mixing up a bit of the.
Well, you kept saying how much the next one stands alone, but
well,
Well, as long as you
Elizabeth Swann ends up getting the one pirate king's. She ends up being there when he was dying because they were all betrayed by the English.
let's go get Jack first.
They don't get him first; they get him after that. They because first they are set upon by the English, and she gets handed down the pirate king thing. Then they go to rescue Jack, and that's when we get the whole. There's like a ton of Jacks. Did you want to explain it?
That was some sort of hallucination, from what I understood.
Yeah, all these Jacks were manning the ship and swabbing the decks. He even killed one of his selves.
For a peanut.
For a peanut. So.
And then all the little crabs make the ship move.
Yep. And that's when.
I thought that was totally cool. How the little
Uh,
craft made the ship move like they were a wave, you know.
And they had destroyed their own ship that they had gotten from the Chinese guy. Um,
Just trying to get to Jack.
Correct. And that's when the ship was sailing. Black Pearl was basically sailing along the sand dunes, and they were just standing there gaping at it like there's a ship.
It's the Black Pearl. It's Jack.
And he still thinks that they're a hallucination. What did
Yeah.
y'all think about the reaction of the shipmates and Jack, and how he actually finally somewhat believed that one of them was real?
Wasn't it when he saw Elizabeth and remembered that what she had done to him at the end of the second movie?
Yep, and then he realized that she hadn't told anyone. And then later, she was when she was talking to she was like, "That was my burden to bear." And then when Will Turner had also had a secret, and she told him, "Why didn't you tell me?" He was like, "That's my burden to bear," you know. So they each kind of kept secrets, and he kind of always felt like she was in love with Jack or whatnot. So that was his reasoning for keeping
Well,
secrets.
because he saw them kiss. He didn't realize that it was all basically the kiss of death. You know, when she kissed him at the end of the second movie, he saw that, but like I said, he didn't realize that that was basically the kiss of death.
Yeah.
It was not romantic. So, okay, so they get Jack back, and they're sailing away, and on the way back, I thought it was kind of cool how they did it with all the souls underneath the water like that.
Yeah.
And then there were some that were above water, and she saw her father and realized he was dead.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a sad moment, but it was also a moment that Calypso said, "At least he came and made his peace." You know.
Oh yeah, that scene somewhat left me wondering actually, why didn't the father hold that rope, and what would have happened if he had tried to get on their boat?
He was a soul, almost like, and see, one of the things that I'm not sure if you caught on that Davy Jones was doing. He was kind of like the dude that brought
Uh,
the souls over to heaven
uh,
or hell.
yeah, I understood
With
that.
Greek, like with Greek mythology, there was always the ferryman who
Yeah.
brought them across the river Styx. Well, in a sense, Davy Jones was kind of like the ferryman.
Yes, I understood that.
Charon is the Greek. It's the Greek ferryman.
But
So
yeah,
what did you guys think about how they got back to reality about flipping the ship over? I
Oh,
thought that
you know, Jack hasn't let on that he's as smart as he is, but yeah, I love how he tell everyone we're gonna rock the boat or anything. It's like, what's that over there? Everyone runs over. And then more people start running over. They didn't realize what he's doing. They said, "Oh, maybe it's a good idea," and they do it. So pretty cool.
I thought it was funny, but it was neat, because he's the one that really he kept looking at that map and looking at that map, and
And
there's got to be.
the two idiot pirates tied themselves upside down.
Yeah, because then they would be right up.
Thought it was a good idea.
They thought they'd be right side up. Then
Yeah, I definitely miss them too. And them too. Yeah, and two. For the tea company. Those two guys. They were just kind of more comic relief.
Yeah.
Kind of miss
And
them.
what's funny is that the short fat one, he played the angry dwarf in Once Upon a Time.
Which did he? Oh, I knew I recognized him somewhere.
I thought you would like that.
Yeah, that was yeah, I knew I recognized him. Besides Pirates, I knew I recognized him. I love how Jack's always like saying the one-eyed guy is creepy and stuff. He's always standing behind Jack, and Jack's always like, "Ew, get away." Kind of feel bad for him.
But they ended up getting the ship up right, and I think that that's when they were on their way to wherever the pirates were convening. Oh, that's right. It was an island that they ended up at, and when they got there, it was like the Chinese guy. He had put his allegiance into the British Tea Company, or the China Tea Company, or whatever the heck they called themselves.
The British Tea Company.
Yeah, the British people. He had put his faith in being able to get the Black Pearl and probably the Keira Knightley's character, Elizabeth Swann. And they, of course, fucked him over. And that's when I think them two kind of joined forces and attempted to take over the Flying Dutchman, I believe, right, Tammy?
yeah, I think so.
And somehow or other, in between is when the Chinese guy actually gets killed, and he actually then ultimately leaves his predecessor. And at first they're like, "You're not my captain," and then shortly after, the dude tells her, "You're not my captain." That's when Davy Jones walks up and is like, "So who's your captain?" And they all point at her. Did you want to bring it forward, Tammy?
Well, then they're having the meeting, I believe. Finally.
Yeah.
To get everybody
and
there.
The interesting thing about the pieces of 8 is
they're all pieces of junk.
It's all a piece of whatever's in their pocket at the time.
Well, it was what at the time years ago, it was what was ever in their pocket, which basically turns out to just pieces of junk.
Yeah. and I believe Barbosa's was the eyepiece from the one guy, and he's like, "You'll get it back."
Yeah.
And then, of course, Elizabeth Swann comes in and tells them that of the death of the one guy, and that she's come in his place, and they're all mad at that. And then Barbosa suggests that they release Calypso. What happens then?
Nobody wants to do that.
And Jack's like, "Well, this is politics."
Well, the big thing is they don't think they need to fight. They think that the island itself will protect itself without them actually going out there fighting. They think that the stronghold of where they are is strong enough. So they don't want to actually go to a war, you know?
And that's when we get Jack's father, who is evidently the royal keeper of the.
Jack's father appears only in the fourth movie, I think.
Nope, his father appears here.
Because he brings the big book.
He brings the big book, and Jack's father is played by Keith Richards.
Okay,
From
then this was
from the Rolling Stones.
We just don't know it's Jack's father until the third movie, the fourth movie.
Okay, yeah, that
When I saw
explains
him,
it.
I was like, "Oh shit, that's Jack's father."
We actually know it in this movie because he asks how his mother is, and he shows him the shrunken head.
I actually missed that part.
That was so funny. He goes, "So how's mom?" And he shows him the shrunken head. Oh, she looks like she's doing good.
Oh, yeah, now I remember.
I actually missed it. That sounds funny.
Yeah,
But,
and then when they go to unlock the book, the dog that brings the key is the same dog that was always watching the jail cells.
cell in the first movie.
With the keys.
Yep. So, and then of course in the book, in the codex, and of course everyone's all oohing and eyeing because this is the original book that started the whole code, the pirate code, and all that jazz. And it looks like it's old, you know. It's big.
Oh yeah.
And they had a dog, and the dog was holding the keys.
So, and he read off that at one point in time they had appointed someone amongst themselves as a pirate king.
But they have a different sense because everybody votes for themselves.
Yep. But Jack Sparrow actually voted for Elizabeth Swann's character, so she got the majority of the votes. And so they at first they try to contest it, but Jack's father steps in and kills off the one turban head dude. And I think it's kind of funny after that you hear the voice of that leader, and his voice is so high. You don't expect it to be that high. But Elizabeth Swann basically tells them that they are going to war. Right, Tammy?
Huh?
Right. She basically says that they are going to war. Prepare.
Yes.
What happens after that?
Well, they all get set to go, and then that's when the Black Pearl and the Flying Dutchman go at it in that Maelstrom, it's called.
Well, they all gather their pirate ships and end up seeing all the more pirates ships. Oh, not pirate ships, but the English trading company.
Right, so that's why
has all them
one ship
ships.
goes out. It's the Flying Dutchman goes against the Black Pearl.
Yep, and but they also end up releasing Calypso.
Oh
Before
yeah, we kind of forgot that.
Release the beast.
They released Calypso, well, and of course Barbosa, he says it wrong, and the one guy, even though he's an idiot, he's like, no, you have to say it right. You know,
No,
he's the idiot, and yet he knows how to say it right. You know.
Yeah, well, he actually meant it. He meant it when he said it. That was the difference. Is Barbosa didn't mean it. That he loved her. Like he the idiot really meant it.
Yeah. So,
Right, because he said you have to mean it, otherwise it doesn't work. He was the only one that kind of got that.
But ultimately.
But right before that, we got when Calypso was in the jail cell.
Yeah. He said that no matter what, she would always love him, even if she was released.
Well, when he came to visit her, yeah, that's the moment when we actually got to see what he looked like without everything.
Well, yeah, because I think he wanted to talk to her before anything else.
I thought that the fight between the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl was totally awesome. That whole scene, well, because they're in that maelstrom thing. I thought that was so cool. I thought that was really intense and cool how they did that. You know.
And they entangled the boats. Oh, and the fact that they all rose their colors before they did anything, that was cool too. When they rose the colors of their flags.
Yep.
That
actually
was
did
cool
watch.
They all represented.
On my DVD, I've got the behind the scenes type of stuff, but I did watch that part, how they made that fight on the maelstrom thing like that. Yeah. I did watch that. That was like really cool how they made that. Because I don't watch a lot of that stuff, but I did on that.
Cool.
Okay. And so there is a fight to get the trunk and the key. The key falls, the trunk falls. You have all this like, and of course you have Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann having to want to get married while they're in the middle of the fight.
Oh, that was amazing.
Hey, marry us. I'm a little bit busy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then the sword fight even between Jack and Davy Jones I thought that was really good, really intense.
That was great fight between them.
Indeed.
So let's see, we're So
Davey took it literally when they said fire at will.
Yeah.
Nice, Paul.
So we get to the point where Jack's got he's gonna stab the heart, and then JV Jones realizes that there's love between Elizabeth and Will. And well, he can't stand that. You
Nope.
know,
So he shoots Will in the heart, and
stabs.
Technically stabbed.
Stabs.
yeah, technically stabs. And so I believe at this point in time, that's when Bootstrap Will Turner basically snaps from his being part of the ship Reviri and realizes that to fight for his son. So he kind of helps place his heart inside Davy Jones' locker after the heart's been stabbed.
Right,
Which
because
Jack Sparrow actually helped put the knife or whatever in Will's hand to stab the heart.
right, which that ends Davy Jones.
Yep, which ends the maelstrom.
And then the English ship is coming, and they don't realize that now the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl are together, and they get stuck
That
in
is
the
like the
middle.
best part.
Yeah, they do some great camera work here, where he just mouths the
business.
words business. It was just business, and then he walks slowly down the stairs while everything is being destroyed around him.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
That was
I
great
thought
cinema.
that was so cool.
That was great cinema.
It really was. Oh no, I agree with Dave again.
Whoa, wow. We'll have to mark it down in the book. But and he gets basically destroyed. Of course, then of course you have a nice romantic scene on the beach.
Well,
And
yeah. Before that, though, they all turn tail and run. So
yeah, of course, his father tells him that you're not going to probably see her that much because you are now captain of the ship, and it's going to be difficult.
I thought she was gonna go with him.
maybe she
Well,
wasn't allowed to. I don't know. But yeah, it was. He's basically you get 1 day and then 10 years. So 1 day, 10 years.
yep. So that pretty much ends that particular
So
part
basically, they broke up
trilogy.
first. I don't know why
What?
he would marry her just to be gone for 10 years at a time.
But Jack Sparrow, he ends up in a dinghy, and he's actually cut out the map because he
Well,
is.
at first he was bringing the women to go see his ship, and then they're like, "It's so small." He's like, "I swear it's bigger." And then they're like,
There it is.
"Oh, is that the black hole over there?" And he's like, "Well, yes, it is. But what's it doing over there?" And I love how they're fighting with each other, and then Jack's just like, "I lied. I love you, and yes, you do look fat in that dress and all the other." And then they both slap him, and then of course he slaps Gibbs, and Gibbs gets all mad like he's gonna slap Jack, but then he stops and just shrugs.
Gibbs gets the girls.
And then he walks off with the girls.
And he goes off and that's what he has. He has the map that'll take him supposedly to find the Fountain of Youth. which is I think he's on his way to wherever the movie starts in the next movie. So that's pretty much the end of the movie. But what did y'all think about the end product of At World's End? Ron, did you want to
Yeah, it was very
share
enjoyable.
anything about production?
It was very enjoyable, and the movie was it's just fun. You know, very enjoyable. The whole thing. You know, definitely some fun moments. I love the whole cast, the way they work together. You know, I loved it. Are we doing favorite scenes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not, if you want to do your favorite scenes as well.
But yeah, I mean, I got two scenes. One is when Jack is just on the ship and he's just talking to himself and he's like killing himself and fighting over a peanut and stuff. It was just absolutely great. Bunch of Jacks around, and then the two little Jacks on his beard when he came back.
Well, and
And
when he was in the cell later on, where his brains fell, that was fucking hilarious too.
and then the next scene for me was the fight when they, both ships turned and then they came at him and like put one on each side and it just destroyed the English ship. I mean, it was just it was like you had this brand new ship, right, against two battle hardened friggin' ships that just destroyed it. Like nothing.
Put down.
It was great. And and definitely like you said, with him walking down the way he walked down and everything's exploding around him and shit, and he's like, it's just good business, and he's like kind of walked and he's just like walking without any kind, just no purpose, just walking and not even looking, paying attention to what's going on and stuff. It was great.
Okay,
Definitely some great cinematography.
I feel a little
Did you have
creepy
a
doing
favorite
this.
character?
It's always Jack. I mean, I love Elizabeth and Will. Will and Elizabeth are probably next, but you got to have Jack. Jack is the best.
Okay.
What about you, Boris?
Well, I think the production was really good. As Ron has said, the scene with Jack talking to multiple different versions of himself, that was a really great scene. I mean, I
All
imagine
over,
now. Sorry, what?
all over a peanut.
Yeah. I imagine nowadays it would be a little easier when we have AI and all that, but back then I imagine it wasn't that easy to put together, yet they did it flawlessly, which is really impressive.
Yeah, it's a lot more expensive than it is now.
Yeah, and really uh, everything looked great in terms of production. There is really nothing I can point out as a flaw. When it comes to music, the music was good, but as far as I could hear, it was pretty much the same as it was in the first two movies.
I
Uh,
love this cutting here for the music. I wanted to say the song in the beginning with the kids starting it and everything. I really like that song, and it definitely it grew in my head. I kept
uh,
thinking it
uh,
over and over again. So yeah.
yeah, that song was unique to this movie. That's true.
Well, yeah. I believe that some of the uh, Sailor Johns that you hear in these pirate movies, I believe some of them have carried over through like Disney's Treasure Island um, movies, because I think Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me is originally from Treasure Island, and I believe they carried some of those pirate songs over to here. So, but that one in the very beginning, that especially having it come from a child who was then, hung,
I can't believe they killed the kid.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
I was
They
thinking
did
this
one
ain't
of
your normal Disney movie.
It's a Disney movie, and they kill the kid. That's one of the like the major things that you're not supposed to do on screen, right?
Well, we didn't actually see. We didn't see the kid die. We just were left to our imaginations that he'll be hung like the rest of them. But yeah,
If you'd have seen the child die, then that would have been a different story. They didn't entirely break the laws of cinema there, but it was just the suggestion that they did that was
for
skirting.
Disney, they came damn close.
They got to keep it family somewhat. Like, I know for a fact that you didn't see any blood per se, not much, you know.
That's
But
what my complaint was with the Hulk. Like, how the hell does anybody not believe when the Hulk is smashing people?
Good point.
did you see any blood from anybody?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what annoyed me about the Hulk too. Like we have pirates, there's swords. Like people are gonna bleed even when people get stabbed. They don't bleed.
Well, there was some small bleeding in the fourth movie.
A little bit, but we'll get to that. And that I wouldn't call that the fourth movie. Anyways, let
Well, it
us.
doesn't matter if you would because Philip did and I do. I don't know about Tammy, but we
Oh,
do
just because you foolishly believe it was the fourth movie.
because it was the fourth movie. You're the only weirdo that thinks it's not just because it was a different cast. The movie's about Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is the main pirate. That's what the movies are about. Everybody else are sidekicks. Whether you like them or not, they're all sidekicks.
But Tammy, what did you think about the production?
Oh, I thought it was good as always. They they've always got more than one thing going on at once. So it's keeping you interested. It's keeping it flowing. It's got you know everything in it, and so yeah, that ending, that battle with the two ships go on either side of the English ship at the end. That was one of my favorite parts too, because I thought that was just done so great. And um, I liked the battle between the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl.
Okay, and is that pretty much it for? And did you have a favorite character or characters?
Always Jack.
Okay. As far as me, I'm going to creepily agree with Ron about all the favorite scenes, being that which he described. But those were some great scenes with Jack fighting over a peanut with his other selves, and having the angel on one. It's like they almost did like an angel on one shoulder and devil on the other. When they were like on either side of him, one was saying stab the heart, the other was telling him no. you know. And also later on in the jail cell, you know, he even like makes fun of himself, you know, throughout the whole thing because his comedy alone is priceless. But that cinematic scene where the one dude is just walking down the stairs and everything is just being destroyed around him, and he's like totally not caring about his life. He's just flabbergasted that he was out tricked, out, you know, numbered, you know. Favorite character or characters? Jack is definitely number one, but I like Gibbs as a character. I like the monkey as a character.
Oh yeah, that monkey was so cute. How did
And I
we
like
forget to mention?
I like
I mean,
Barbosa.
Jack. The
I like
monkey's name is Jack.
I like Barbosa too. So it's kind of like it's kind of like hard for me to entirely just pick one because each one of them is a character and they play them to their very best, you know. And I seem to remember the idiot pirates. The one guy had a few more lines, if not in this one, or maybe it was in the next one. But he even got like annoyed at Barboso and Depp's character, and he was like, "Will you guys just stop arguing?" I don't know if that happened in this one or the next one, but it was funny.
It was this one, and yes, it was very funny, and the way they just looked at him, and he's just like, I was just they got throw my name in the hat since you guys are arguing.
Oh yeah, but yeah, the music, yeah, it kind of reminded me of some of the other ones, but the music is still tremendously enjoyable to hear because you hear it in the background and you know it's the Pirates music, you know. So, and trying to think who actually did the music for this particular one. So the guy who did the music for this one is Hans Zimmer.
Oh, nice. He also collaborated with Gore Verbinki on The Ring, so that makes sense.
And he also was part of the music department in Inception, and Gladiator,
The Lion King,
Dunkirk. But yeah, the last couple that he's been part of is the Blue Angels and Damsel. He was a producer behind those. So he was a composer for The Simpsons quite a bit. He was a synth programmer for Top Gun Maverick. Let's see. Wonder Woman 1984. He was a score producer and a synthesizer programmer for that. Yeah, he was an executive music producer behind The Lion King, the live action.
wasn't he also? Didn't he also make the?
Star Wars. He was uncredited for Star Wars as a musician for The Last Jedi
Oh, wow.
and Terminator Genesis. He did the theme music for Sons of Liberty, which was a TV miniseries. See, Transformers. He did some additional music for Age of Extinction. He did some stuff for Divergence, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, The Dark Knight Rises, and other. Okay, so he did do the composing theme music and was the score producer for the next movie, which we'll get into. So, did anyone else have anything else to add?
Well, I didn't technically say my favorite character and favorite scenes.
Oh, sure. Then, Boris, you go ahead and tell us what you thought of the production.
I already did comment on the production.
Oh, okay. Then go ahead
on,
and tell us your favorite character and/or favorite scenes.
oh yeah, I think my favorite character would also have to be Jack, but I also like some other ones, like the monkey. Yeah, I really like cute animals. Can't help it. uh, I also somewhat liked Will Turner in this movie, and who else was I going to mention? Oh yeah, Calypso was also cool. And when it comes to favorite scenes, it would probably have to be the final battle, including the whole wedding during the fight thing. But yeah, also, as Kroll has mentioned, the scene of Jack talking to multiple versions of himself, and all the spudowns, of course, throughout the movie. And yeah, I think that would be it.
Alrighty. Well, hopefully, you ladies and gentlemen have enjoyed our discussion on Gore Verbinski's Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Join us for the next discussion as we continue with On Stranger Tides in just a moment. So, everyone say good night.
Good night,
Good night.
or see you in a few minutes.